And now, the aftermath of the murders in Maryland's state capitol. Amna Nawaz has our story.
A day after the mayhem at the Capitol Gazette in Annapolis, faces of the 5 victims headlined the front page. The man accused of killing them, 38-year-old Jared Warren Ramos, was charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder and ordered held without bond.
Mr. Ramos is alleged to have executed a brutal series of attacks on innocent victims.
Officials say the suspect opened fire on the paper's newsroom with a pump-action shotgun. State Attorney Wes Adams says the alleged gunman had made sure no one could get out.
There were 2 entrances to the offices in which this attack occurred. The rear door was barricaded. Mr. Ramos then, as I told the judge, entered into the front door and worked his way through the office.
Hours after the attack, staff writer Celine San-Felice recalled the terror of being trapped.
I remember I was working at my desk when I heard the shots, and it took a couple of them for me to realize what was happening. And I went to the back door, which I was only a couple steps away from. It was locked. I heard the footsteps.
Police got there within a minute and say they found the suspect hiding under a desk. The accused gunman had long held a grudge against the Capitol Gazette. He sued for defamation over a 2011 column about his guilty plea to criminal harassment, but he lost the appeal in 2015. Anne Arundel County's police chief Timothy Altamari says the suspect also harassed newspaper employees on social media.
In May of 13, we did have a situation where online threatening comments were made. It was discussed that the Capitol Gazette did not wish to pursue criminal charges. There was a fear that doing so would exacerbate an already flammable situation.
The chief says there were new postings lately. Last night, investigators checked on those and other evidence as they searched the suspect's apartment in Laurel, Maryland. They say one thing is clear.
This was a targeted attack. The fellow was there to kill as many people as he could kill.
In the wake of the carnage, the Capitol Gazette's editorial page said simply, "Today, we are speechless." The newspaper also paid tribute to its slain staffers. Rob Hyacin, 59 years old and assistant managing editor, remembered as a wryly observant writer who mentored young journalists. 65-year-old Wendy Winters, dubbed the heart of the newspaper, had a talent for connecting with the community as special publications editor. Those who worked for him said editorial page editor Gerald Fishman's, quote, quirky, low-key demeanor belied a biting sense of humor. He was 61. John McNamara, age 56, was nicknamed Mac and remembered for, quote, flexibility, concise writing, and extensive knowledge of regional sports. Rebecca Smith, the paper reported, was a 34-year-old sales assistant and known as thoughtful, kind, and considerate. Flowers and stuffed animals left in their memories began to amass today ahead of a vigil tonight. The grieving staff at the newspaper still put out today's edition and are continuing to work again today. As one reporter put it, quote, "I don't know what else to do." Terrence Smith is a contributing columnist for the Capitol Gazette and was a longtime correspondent here at the NewsHour. He lives in Annapolis. Terrence, thank you so much for being here. We are all so very sorry for you and your colleagues' loss.
Well, it was an incredible shock. You do not expect it. You do not think in a newsroom that somebody's going to come in and shoot the place up. And maybe we should. Maybe we all should. But we didn't. And I think the Capitol made a point, and you sort of suggested in the setup piece, of increasing its connection to the community by being open, having no wall, so to speak, behind, between the office and the community. Mm-hmm. Was that risky? Well, we didn't think so.
It's a remarkable position for a journalist to be in, to have to cover the killing of your own colleagues. And I want to ask you about the editor you mentioned, because he was tweeting about those colleagues there. He wrote about them, look, they give all they have every day. There are no 40-hour weeks, no big paydays, just a passion for telling stories from our community. For folks who've never been there, who've never met some of these people, tell me about the place of the Capitol Gazette in that community.
It has a very close connection to the community and keeps it up and works at it. It was founded or its origins go back to 1727, so almost 300 years ago. And it was a pre-revolutionary, rebellious newspaper that continues to this day. And they work at that connection to the community. They cover local politics, local debates, news, local sports, local anything, and give it precedence, as they should. And amazingly, in this day and age of newspapers collapsing all around us, it makes money. How about that?
You knew two of the individuals who were killed yesterday
I
very
knew
well.
4 of them, but 2 especially well. Gerald Fishman, I filed every column I wrote for the last 4 years. Wonderful guy, very quiet, unassuming, biting wit, beautiful writer. You can read about him. Go to the Annapolis Capital online, and they did wonderful profiles today of these people. Rob Hyacin, another associate editor and columnist, terrific guy, very witty, big man, 6'5". He is the younger brother of Carl Hyacin, the famous novelist, and a most engaging guy. His column dealt not with politics or big issues, but with the foibles of life, that we all confront.
What do you want people out there to know about that team that you get to work with there?
I was really impressed with what they produced today and probably will produce tomorrow. And they were sending a message, and it's a very clear message. And I endorse that message. You can't let a shooter, in this case one who, as you said in the setup piece, had a long-running grievance with the paper. He was a danger. Obviously, they didn't think he was the combustible danger that he proved to be. Otherwise, the police, and they would have done something about it. But they thought about it. He was on the radar. But I think the paper's performance in the wake of this is their most extraordinary testimonial. They'll keep at it. This isn't fake news. This is not the enemy of the people.
Darren Smith, thank you so much for being here today with us.
My pleasure.